Now it's time for our next session that turns the spotlight on the human side of marketing. AI is no longer working quietly in the background. Why? Because it is increasingly becoming the voice, the brain, and sometimes the face of brands. As technology accelerates scale and decision making, the industry now faces a defining question. Will brands grow more intuitive and human, or more automated and distant? To explore how brands can scale with intelligence without losing their soul, once again, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dilshad Irani to steer the discussion. And joining her on stage will be our panelists, Rajat Abi, who's the Vice President Global Marketing, Chief Marketing Officer, Schneider Electric. Rajat is a global marketing leader, driving purpose-led growth and brand impact across international markets. Sakshi Verma Menon, who's a Chief Marketing Officer at PepsiCo Foods India, a marketing leader known for building iconic food brands with strong consumer relevance and scale. Gaurav Ramdev, CMO, India and South Asia Visa. He's a seasoned marketer shaping the future of digital payments and consumer engagement across India and South Asia. Siddharth Shekhar, Director LCS India at the Government BFSI Education and Auto Google. He's a business leader enabling large-scale digital transformation across government, BFSI, education and automotive sectors. Also going to request Gaurav Mehta, Senior Director, Marketing and Strategic Capabilities at Lilly India, to join on stage. He's a strategic marketing leader, strengthening capabilities, trust and impact in the healthcare and life sciences space. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome them to the stage with a huge round of applause.
Thank you very much, and thank you for taking my cue on the seating arrangements. Actually, we were going for some balance here on the panel. While I was listening to the discussion earlier, and of course the conversations we've been having for, I think, over 2 years now, since this wave of AI chatter hit us, as if it didn't exist before that. But I feel that we'd be preaching to the choir right now if we got into, more of the, so to say, technicalities, where there's a room full of marketers here, a room full of practitioners here. So I think we need to sort of level up the conversation, perhaps, and we'll stick to the topic in one way. But while we talk about AI, while we talk about the challenges of slop and attention and the absolute abundance of sometimes mediocrity coming our way, we must not forget the human edge. And that is why I want to stick to that. I want to understand from each of you how you are thinking of that in your respective organizations, in your context. Coming to you first, Sakshi. Iconic brands, of course, that you lead. And while we talk about personalization, which is happening at hyper speed, and all of that, but how do you make sure that you are not losing that human edge? You are not losing that insight as we grapple with this onslaught of technology.
So, hi everyone, and we're at an interesting phase where AI is practically taking over a lot. Right? AI can optimize media, can optimize creative, can optimize pricing way better and faster than most of us and most of our teams can. But I do think that the role of marketing actually gets further strengthened in a situation like this. Because fundamentally, consumers are buying into brands, they're buying into a human emotion. They are not buying into an algorithm. As a CMO, I'm not fighting this battle with AI on efficiency. But what I believe that marketers today bring to the table is actually the ability to decide what will be optimized, what will we protect, and at what point will we ensure that human judgment will actually supersede the algorithm. And for us, at PepsiCo, consumer centricity is truly at the heart of everything we do. And everything that we build starts with the consumer, and a consumer buys into emotions, culture, empathy. And that's the heart of how we build our brands. And therefore, for me, I think AI is a great ally. It allows me the ability to, look at lots of data. It allows me to look at trends. It allows me to look at regional nuances. It does all of that. But the heart of how we build our brands will still remain at the core on how we're able to connect with consumers in a human way. So I actually feel that in the times of AI, the role of a marketer is actually tougher. It's actually a little more heightened than it ever was, because I'm not just, looking at data. I'm actually deciding what to do with it, and at what point to say that my judgment is actually going to supersede what this algorithm says. So that's how we're building our brands.
100%. I think that question of judgment, that discerning decision that you make is absolutely critical going forward. But it's really interesting, and Gaurav, I'll ask you this because I think we've also previously chatted about this. It's strange how every platform is trying to make AI more and more human. The way we interact with, whether it's any of the platforms. I won't specifically name any one of them. But it's fascinating. So you as a CMO, Gaurav, how do you, especially in financial services, where that human interaction also matters a lot, how are you balancing the two? How are you looking at that balance between human interaction and, of course, all the algorithm and AI-led efficiencies and personalization and all of that comes in?
Yeah. So thank you for having me here first. I think we are looking at AI, and the conversation that we are having right now is AI to be a problem solver, and we throw it in the mix as a tool trying to optimize for something. I think we have to look at AI on how we look at architectures, like brands have architectures and how we operate by design. So like a classical marketer, if you have to solve with AI at a product level, especially in financial industry, we solve it by making the product more secure, more tokenized, more signal giving, so that there are less frauds, there are more security layers added. So that's at the product level. At a communication, marketing, I think we have to make it less creepy, and therefore when you speak about personalization, especially with AI, we are looking at two things very specifically. One, timeliness. So we can ensure that the fraud does not happen before it happens. Second, we communicate far better, and we have control over the human emotion, so that we can add to the trust that we bring to the equation as Visa. So I think we have to look at it as a solution, as an architecture on where we are plugging it. Most of the conversations usually look like effectiveness or efficiency, but I think AI has to be the core, or we are looking at it from a core perspective and trying to change every bit in marketing as well. Like our briefs are no longer just 2-pager documents, 3-pager documents. They're now visual, and AI tools are helping us make it a visual storytelling device rather than writing 3 pages of long form content to the agencies. So we are looking at every opportunity to optimize or use AI as a tool, and right from product stacks to even communication. I think everything is going under a transformation journey right now.
Rajat, do you find some aspects of the way we use AI and AI creepy right now, as Gaurav put it?
No, I think first we have to understand, and thank you for having me here. We are living in the age of AI, and now the battle is, will AI drive us or will drive AI? Yeah. So, and that's about mindset. So if I look at Schneider Electric, 80% of the portfolio is B2B, 20% is B2C. AI is one of the levers for growth. It is not the only lever for growth. Yeah. So how do we integrate AI as the part of overall value proposition which we go and deliver to our customers? Yeah, which is AI is helping us make our solutions more efficient and more smarter. So our solutions go to data centers, buildings, grids, mission critical situations. AI is really helping us understand those situations in a better way through predictive analytics, through digital twins, yeah, through anticipating a problem which can happen in the grid 1 year down the line, by anticipating a problem which can happen in a healthcare electrical system 2 months down the line, and those are, or maybe in a data center where if even for a one second there is a drop in bandwidth, there is a huge drop. So AI is helping us, a company like Schneider Electric, in making solutions smarter. The second aspect is it is also helping our workforce become more smarter. Yeah, so it is helping our teams do mundane jobs in a more efficient way. Therefore, they get real time to think. Yeah, so that's the real use case of AI, wherein you get more time to think. And AI is not, I mean, there are most of the times, whether we are in B2C or B2B, plus minus 10%, 50 to 60% of our time goes in doing operational stuff. Yeah, mundane task. That is something which AI is going to take away from us, which is good news, because it is going to help human beings do best what they are supposed to do, which is to think. The third use case, which, and I'm talking about AI is everywhere, so is in marketing. Now in marketing, I'll divide the problem into two parts. One problem is about efficiency, other is about original thinking. Yeah, by solving the problem of efficiency more efficiently, AI is helping brands to become original. Because end of the day, customers or consumers are not going to buy solutions because you are ahead of other companies in AI. It is going to be based on what's the DNA of your brand, what's the value proposition. Eventually, are you delivering on the promises which you are making? So by ensuring that on one side you are becoming more efficient, and on the other side your marketing team is becoming more like an original thinker in terms of really differentiating vis-a-vis others, is going to make a big difference.
Gaurav, AI is making people more intelligent. Bottom line is that, right? But how are you seeing those gains beyond, of course, the efficiencies that we all know come with technology, right? Every day we're seeing people work smarter, faster, often better. So your thoughts, what's happening in your space, in your sector?
Thanks for inviting me to this forum. I'll just take a lead from what Rajat was saying. He was talking about the team and then team optimizing. Using AI tools to deliver like great stuff. I agree with what he was saying. I'll add on top of that how maybe my sector, or I have seen over the past 10, 12 years, people using it. I come from the world of startups. Now I'm in a pharma company, but then when I was in startups, there was this term that we used to use, the power law, which is, how it's almost like Pareto principle. It's like just nothing but a fancy term used by the investment community, where a very minor percentage of people will get the bigger rewards, almost 80-20 kind of a rule. With AI tools, I always think that it will give you a lot of power, a lot of leverage to do your daily job brilliantly. But I think this is where the distinction starts to happen. Tools give you equal platform to everyone in this room, and it gives you that extra time to do what you wish to do. I think people who are really leveraging that 20-30% extra time that you're getting by using those tools and technologies are the ones who really get to that power law kind of a system. And this is, historically we have seen, and I'll just go really back. TV has always had its own tools like TAM, Bark, Google, Meta, everybody has had like ad centers and so on and so forth. Same tools for everyone in this room. But the real value is unlocked when people start to use those tools and then think beyond that. And that's where the power law really comes to the fore. I'm like, in our sector, healthcare, medicine discovery is a super critical thing, not just for the marketing function, for the humanity itself. And that's where beyond marketing also I've seen how AI, how more predictive technologies are really helping us find better molecules and so on and so forth in a faster period. I think that's how I really think. I think tools give you the license to play, but not the license to win. Really people who like get that leverage of time, right, that 20-30% extra time that you have, and then put that to work are the ones who are creating that value on top. So that's how I think.
Siddharth, your company, of course, is giving people the license to play, and congratulations on an absolutely tremendous results this month. And, Gunjan mentioned ChatGPT a couple of times, and you came in right at that point. But let me get to what's happening at Google, because I think Gemini app crossed 750 million MAUs. Absolute leap from where it was. So from your vantage, when you're hearing, your fellow panelists and CMOs talk, what is running through your mind when Gaurav, for instance, said that, the license to play, but not the license to win? How can marketers, CMOs win in this AI world today?
Yeah, I think to everyone's point here also, right? I think we agree that it's not a choice between an algorithm and a human. But what the AI and the algorithms today are doing is it's bridging the gap real time between what a consumer needs and what a brand provides. And that window is becoming shorter as we are moving into this new era of marketing, I would say. And from Google's vantage point of view, right? Like, I think there are three big use cases. One is personalization. We are seeing huge level of personalization that brands are offering today. And not just because their brands are able to offer, but the way consumers are looking for information today. So if I have to give you a simple example, today we are seeing 15% searches every day which are new. Like nobody's searched for them before. So how do you sort of tap into that kind of a consumer behavior that's changing, right? So for example, today if somebody's searching for, earlier people used to search for health insurance plans or compare health insurance plans, and today people are searching for health insurance plans for my elderly parents who live in Bangalore and have comorbidities and, cashless insurance for them, right? So these kind of things that people are searching, and everyone searches in local dialects at their, how do brands tap into that? And we've really seen brands help and tap into these things by some of the tools we're providing. Like we've launched, and somebody mentioned, how do you tap into the answers of ChatGPT, right? So AI, Gemini and Google Ads has AI Max for ads for specifically these use cases. And I know we work with Policy Bazaar. I think Sai is here from there. I think we work very closely on some of these topics with them. And we've seen them actually leverage some of these tools to tap into exactly these behaviors of consumers and gain business growth. They've seen 30% higher conversions of policies by tapping into things like this. Second would be the way people are, again, looking for information that's changing. So we have 25 billion searches monthly happening via Google Lens. So people, when they're out and about today in the world, they're just pointing their camera and trying to find out what is that bag that person is carrying, or which sneakers somebody is wearing. And those are not text searches. Those are image searches or video searches that people are doing. And how can Google help bring that consumer moment closer to a brand is how we are sort of working on. And third is, I think, making it more relevant on a day-to-day basis, where, brands have now realized that consumers are looking for different types of information. So videos, specifically short form videos or long form videos. We discussed long form videos in the previous panel as well. If brands are already creating such enormous amount of content for their end users, how can they optimize for some of this directly in a user's live journey of that information? So I think that's what we're helping brands, and we're helping consumers connect with those brands in those moments.
You know, we spoke about the structural shifts that are happening, the transformation. Previously, we were trying to sort of bucket it into, turbulence, transformation, turning point. But that also requires a mindset shift, a cultural shift. You're not thinking in analog ways, but, future-facing ways. Sakshi, as a marketing leader, is that perhaps more challenging for you and your teams right now, getting that mindset shift, that cultural transformation that's also required to make it truly augmented intelligence versus artificial intelligence?
Yeah, I think we've all come to recognize that it's time we be ambidextrous, if I may say, right? There's AI, and there's a lot of power in what AI can help me as a marketer. So I think we've walked that path where we believe that AI can actually help me do actually what I'm meant to do, which is to take the decisions which are better for my consumers to build a stronger brands. So I think we've walked that path, and I think most marketers today have learned to recognize that they need to now be, like I said, ambidextrous. I need AI and I need EI. I need to have that. I bring the emotional intelligence to what AI is telling me. And the AI is throwing out patterns to me, is putting out data for me. I need the AI to actually intervene and look at what I'm going to make out of that data. So, at PepsiCo, we have one of our AI policies actually very interestingly says that it's important that we have human oversight and fairness. It's one of our core values, and we've extended it to AI. And what that basically says is that when you are working with AI, it's important that there is human oversight, and the human intervention comes in when you need to deploy AI. So when I need to have judgment, when I need to look at culture doesn't behave as laterally as data does, right? I mean, culture very often comes out of contradictions. So it's for me as a marketer to actually be able to intervene at that point in time. And I think that's the part that marketers today, I think, are getting used to. And to me, that's the transformation, where I'm getting used to the fact that I actually can get data, and it's actually no longer a differentiator. I mean, you and I we have access to the same data, right? What I do with it becomes actually even more important than what it was earlier. Earlier, I could have the data and you didn't, and therefore I was the better marketer. Today, that's level playing field, and what I do with that data becomes even more important. So I think that's the shift that we're all going through, and coming to realize that our roles are actually becoming trickier, tougher, and in my view, probably even more important, because data left to itself can actually very quickly and successfully make a brand pretty redundant. So I think we're getting used to that.
Yeah, so CMOs are not becoming obsolete anytime soon. Let's just park it at that. But with great power comes great responsibility. Just a quick round, coming to you, Gaurav, first. What's that one area of responsibility for you as a marketer stepping into the next 5 years?
I think just taking from your previous question, I mean, being the culture champion, I think, and you can't do the same thing upwards, horizontally and downwards. You'll have to play different roles while managing the culture and really spearhead the whole AI revolution. But I think you'll be the biggest Pied Piper in the company. You are the growth engine. So yeah, that's what I think.
There you go, in the growth engine. Siddharth, one area of responsibility that all marketers must pay attention to.
No, I think, governance plays a very vital role when it comes to innovation. And without governance and certain guardrails that you build into systems, things can go sideways very quickly. And at Google, we take that very seriously. I think we created very early on, very early last year, we launched this thing called Synth ID. It's a tool where you can actually go and check what's been created or generated. It basically means synthetic in the way. You can actually go and check whether something's been created using Google AI or not. And by providing such tools to marketers, to everyone who's using AI, right, we are providing tools in the hands of the human judgment, which Seema just talked about. That's where we are providing the tools with the right people so that they can check what is real versus what is not. And yeah, like I said, I think without governance, any innovation will just fall flat on its face.
Absolutely. Quickly, Sakshi, any one-line thought on responsibility?
So I think the responsibility for most marketers today, especially for me actually, I think it is to make sure that the young brand managers are growing up in a very different era. It's important for them to grow up learning what marketing means today versus how we grew up. And I think that, to me, that's one thing that keeps me awake, is to make sure that they grow up learning marketing in the era of AI.
Gaurav?
Yeah, so honing human judgment or having great taste, I think that's something that AI will help us perhaps be better at.
Absolutely. Rajat?
See, I would say that learn first and execute later, because AI is also becoming like a fad. Everyone wants to use AI for everything. So as a CMO, it becomes extremely critical that you first understand what you are getting into, and then execute, rather than trying to be the best AI executor in the organization vis-a-vis others. That's very dangerous. He already talked about governance. Governance is going to be extremely critical. Yeah, so how do you balance governance, learn, and then execute and scale it up? According to me, would be very critical.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me today.